Hello there, my name is Japheth Mast, and welcome to the Make Life Awesome podcast. I'm the Ex-Amish photographer with the funny name and the crazy hair, but trust me, there's a whole lot more to me than just that. In this podcast, I really hope to show you my heart more than what's in my head, because that's where all the really beautiful stuff is. I'm so glad you're here. Let's jump in to learning together what it looks like to make life awesome. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Make Life Awesome podcast, episode 17, I believe we are on. Thank you for tuning in. Glad you're here. I'm excited about this podcast. It's something that I've been brewing over for the past probably 3 to 4 weeks, and it's something I'm still in the midst of learning, but I feel like I've grasped a decent part of it. So I'm excited to chat with you and share my heart on the difficulty of saying no. No might be the hardest word in the dictionary to say. Yes. Okay. Where to begin? Okay. About 3 weeks ago-ish, I got sick. Because I burned myself to the ground. I did not take care of my body, and as a result, I was laid out for pretty good for 2 to 3 days, and then kind of still had a few symptoms for about a week. So didn't really do any work during those times, and it cost me. But in hindsight, even though it was a painful lesson, it was a lesson, and I learned a lot from it, and I'm thankful for it. And I'm guilty of living in a constant state of near burnout, constantly on the edge of burnout, of almost running out of steam, running out of fumes, running out of strength, and just crashing. And it's funny, I'm only 22, and it's a thing, and I'm not through the issue entirely, but I feel like in the past couple of weeks, I've really grown a lot in this area, and really learning how to value Japheth, how to value my body, this God-given body that is beautiful and was designed to work in a certain way, and was designed to do things and also to not do things, to eat things and to not eat certain things. And it was designed for me to take care of, and I haven't always done a great job of that. And it really comes down to how I see myself, how I view myself, and accepting and loving myself. And I'm kind of saying a bunch of different things here. Let me try to paint you a more clear picture of what's coming out of my mouth. For years, I've not had a very high value for my body. Let's start there. I've kind of just let life happen to it, and kind of used and abused it, misused it, because of this thing of unworthiness. It really comes down to this internal belief, the self-doubts, self-judgment, this believing that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of love, and it's really based in shame. So is this thing of I don't extend acceptance and love to myself unless I perform these certain things, unless I accomplish and achieve and do all these different things that I think I need to do in order to be lovable, in order to be worthy of love. And obviously saying that out loud, you immediately recognize, oh, there's something wrong here. But it's easy to kind of to lie to ourselves. I think to not be honest, to just to tell ourselves half truths about what we're believing. But really, that's the root of my actions, is this wrong internal belief system, this broken belief system that I had. Really not valuing me and not taking care of myself. We we go on a plane and they say, put your mask on first before helping your kid or before helping anyone else in the case of a crash. And we've all heard that many times, most of us, and just kind of tune it out, forget about it. But it's so true that that I'm useless to you or to anyone else to help anyone if I'm not taken care of, if I'm not filled up, if I'm not living in who I'm living true to who I am supposed to be. So yeah, I really had to evaluate, what do I believe about myself? Do I believe that I am worthy of love, or do I not? And then replacing the lies, breaking vows I made to myself and going, you know what? I am worthy of love. Period. Not based on anything I do or say or anyone I know, but the man that I am is worthy of love. And looking myself in the mirror and being able to say that is a really beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing. And I want to talk about this thing of shame. There are a couple of different types of shame, and I've only a month or two ago I learned part of this. There's a shame low, where you feel bad about who you are, because shame says you're not enough. And then there's also this other type of shame, which is called a shame high. That's when I feel good about me because of something I've done. And so it seems nice from the outside, but when you look at it, it's two sides of the same coin. The shame high and the shame low. They're both shame because they're both based on what I've done or haven't done, and that's shame, saying you're not enough, you suck. And that was actually really eye-opening for me when my friend taught me about that, the shame high, because I can get my worth from what I've done, what I haven't done. Shame is so crippling, and it goes after the deepest parts of us. It goes after our roots, after our core, after our hearts, and tries to tear us down by saying you suck. And there's just this cycle, this repetitive cycle of sabotage. Like I said, living on the edge of burnout, continually putting more things on my to-do list, and saying yes to more things so I feel good enough to accept myself, and thus just burning myself out. And even when I would, burn myself out, I'd feel overwhelmed. I think subconsciously it was kind of this twisted thing of like, well, you deserve that because you're not good enough. You haven't done enough. And actually, that thought just came to me as I said it. I've never had that thought before right there. But so I've had to learn how to say no, and it's been really hard. It's been super hard saying no to things, to events, to parties, to go in places, simply because I need to rest, and canceling meetings, and that's something that I do not like doing. But I've had to cancel or reschedule a number of meetings or with people, because I simply recognize that I don't have the capacity to do that right now. And even though I want to make them happy and please them and not miss out, I now value myself enough in order to say no. So my question to you is, do you value yourself enough to say no? And part of the thing that I needed to get past is this thing called fear of man. It's where, and I'll read something that I wrote a little while ago. And fear of man is needing approval from people in order to be okay. Let me say this. You and I, we do not need people to like us in order for us to be okay with ourselves and to like ourselves. It's good to, and what I'm saying there is not to not care. It's not to shut down our hearts and just not care about anything and just be indifferent and go numb. No, it's good to care. It's good to value and love people. But when we care so much about what they think about us that it changes our actions, it changes how we live, then we're crippled and forever slaves to the opinions of other people. And that's the thing we have to stay away from. It's okay to care about what people think of us, but when that gets in the way of us being ourselves, of me being who I really am, if that changes how I act around certain people, that's a red flag right there. And that's called fear of man. That also gets in the way of saying no when I need to say no because I want to please people. And that then when I say yes to things that I don't want to go to, I'll start building a case internally against those people and start resenting them. And it creates bitterness and unforgiveness, and that leads to a whole bunch of other issues. All because I see myself in the wrong way. I don't see myself the way that God made me. I don't accept myself for who I am instead of hating myself for who I'm not or what I have or haven't done. And it's a lot of shame and a lot of BS in there. All that to say, I am learning to value my heart, body, soul, and really taking care of that. And a lot of days I still get parts of it wrong. I'm human. I'm going to mess up more often than I want to. Let's be real. Nobody's perfect. But you know what? Leaders aren't perfect. Leaders get it wrong too. And that's you, that's me. We're leaders. But we keep seeking growth. We keep seeking relationships and connection with people and living in the light, living honestly, living vulnerably, living without any secrets. And another thing about saying no is it frees you up to pursue the life that you really want and the life that you were actually born to. When we're saying yes to so many things that seem are good but not great, and good opportunities instead of the best opportunities, then we're inadvertently saying no to something else. Every yes is a no to something else. Every no is also a yes to something better. So, kind of thinking about the life I want, the things I want to do, the impact I want to create, the family I want to have, it will require me to say no a lot. I think a lot more often than I want to. And that comes at a cost, we need to let go of what other people think about us. Let go of living as slaves to the opinions of men and women, and not making the opinions of others our idols. A lot of us worship the idol of what people think about us, and that's crippling. That's keeping us from our God-given destinies, from who we're meant to be. So, all that to say, you've got this. You freaking got this. Keep moving. Keep going at it. Start practicing this, using this 2-letter word of N-O, no. And maybe let me give you a few practicals. Let me just go into a couple different role-playing situations. So I can say, hey, if someone reaches out to me to hang out for a meeting, I can say, hey, I really appreciate you reaching out. Unfortunately, I don't have the capacity to meet with you right now. period. Thanks for understanding. And like, that's something I've said, or, hey, unfortunately, I will have to reschedule the meeting we had planned. Can we do Tuesday in 2 weeks? ? Or, hey, I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to cancel our meeting. I just have too much going on. I hope you will understand. And there's more, but that's just off the top of my head. I didn't prepare any of that. Prepare to, and all this runs a risk of people not liking you for it. But honestly, that's not on you. I can't control how anyone else will react to me. I can only control me. So if someone gets pissed over me needing to cancel or reschedule a meeting, that doesn't say anything about me. That just says a lot about them. It's revealing something about them, and I don't have time to worry about that. Yeah, I don't have time to worry about that. So obviously, there's the truth of relationships and community and being submitted to leaders and to mothers and fathers in our lives. But there's also times when we just don't have the capacity to keep saying yes to so many things. And it's hard. It's not black and white. It's not a black and white world. It's a lot of gray. So it requires wisdom and intentional relationships with other people that can help us see the truth and stay true to our character and confront us if needed. And I'm going to wrap up here. I feel like I've probably said some things that I might regret later. But that's okay. I'm okay with making messes because I'm a powerful person and I can and will clean them up. So let me know if I made a mess in your life and I'll do my best to clean it up. Or say no. Okay. And so here, if you're listening to this on your phone, you enjoyed this episode, you've been enjoying this podcast, this content, all this, take a screenshot if you will and share it to Instagram stories and Facebook and tag me and let your friends know where it's at, where to that they need to listen to this podcast. Also, send me a message, let me know who you'd like me to interview, who you think would be awesome, or certain topics you wish I would talk about. I'm very open to that. I love getting feedback. I love getting emails or messages from you guys saying how this has impacted you, so keep those coming. I do read them all, and I try to respond as well. So, have a beautiful week as we kind of go full on into this holiday season. I'll catch you later. This is Japheth, peacing out. Bye. Thanks for listening to the podcast today. I would love if you would leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting platform, as it really does help the show out. You can find me on Instagram at Japheth Mast, that's spelled JaphethMast, or my website, japhethmast.com. Have an amazing week, and don't forget, make life awesome.